I often think about this like the ingredients of a cake. And in the same way that you'd have butter, flour, and rising agent and so forth in a cake, when the acids are separate, when the ingredients of the cake are separate, you don't have a cake, you have the potential of a cake. And the same is often true with community acids. It's the connection between the acids that's so critical. But in terms of what kinds of acids you'd find in a community, the flour in the cake is the skills of local residents, local people. So their gifts, their capacities. And in simple terms, you can think about that in the sense of the gifts of the head, things people know, the gifts of the heart, things people are passionate about, and gifts of the hands, things people make and do. It's that straightforward, that personal.
Building a network of peer support is something that we hope the project will be able to get to support. Because peer support here we mean family members supporting each other to achieve their goals, to lead a healthier lifestyle and to manage their condition better. And we also want, towards the end of the project, to be able to get one or two family members, or maybe the family as a whole, to take out the messages that they've got from the sessions to the wider community.
They think that way as well in our South Asian community, and they just hide their illness. They just run away from the medicine, or they just want to eat whatever they like. So that's why they need more awareness how bad is diabetes.
The main thing is for them to admit that they have the condition, and the other one is there's a lot of help available, and they should take it.
If you look at how people live their lives, you'll find that there isn't a piece of them that is a health consumer and a piece of them that's a social care consumer and so on. So we know this. And one of the ways that people find that they can best integrate not alone their gifts, their talents, their strengths, but also their requirements for a good life is in a neighbourhood context, where the social networks can be dense rather than disparate. So I think, again, that's the space where integration, not alone in terms of social care and health, but also community housing, community safety, better return on markets, consumption of energy, raising older people or younger people to interact with older people. Everything across the life course makes sense in that context. So that's where we get the integration. But I think where the asset-based approach, the asset-based community development methodology really gives added value to this whole impetus, I think, that I see in Scotland, is it reminds us that health is not a product to be consumed passively or otherwise, but that it's a condition that we create.
Healthy and Happy is a community development trust. We're a community anchor organisation for the two towns, Cambuslang and Rutherglen, which is based in South Lanarkshire, just outside Glasgow. Our role is to work with the community on issues of importance to the community to help facilitate local people, neighbourhoods, families and communities to address those issues for themselves. One of our 26 services and programmes is our Impact project, which is funded by Health and Social Care Alliance, the Self-Management Fund. And although there are lots of supports, they're quite specific. There might be clinical support, or there might be condition-based. What this project will allow people to do is find out what works for them, but then also give back and share with other people. So this is about helping communities support each other. And in that way, what we'll be able to do is leave a lasting legacy, so that if we don't have funding for that particular project in the future, we will have left networks of people who are able to support each other.
So the very first thing I do as a professional is I map what people don't have in health terms. I map their sickness, or I map their deficit. And And I believe, not just I, but in the Asset-Based Community Development Institute, we believe the reason that happens is because in many respects, we need people's needs as professionals more than they need our services. So in the same way that the iron or the steel industry needs iron ore, we need people's needs. So there's a dependency, actually, on people's needs, and that's the hardest thing of all to shift.
Yeah, so Bobath Scotland, it's a charity that provides specialist therapy to children and adults with cerebral palsy. I think as a number of us were working with maybe the adolescents in particular, sometimes through a block you would become aware some of the children attend special needs schools, and so they have a peer group of other children maybe have difficulties as well. But some of the children that we were seeing, they may be in mainstream because of there's the push for inclusion. So a lot of these children maybe are finding themselves in school where they might be the only person in that class who've got cerebral palsy. And so we did think part of the reason would be nice to have a group would be that bringing children together to show them that you're not alone. There are other children with similar kind of issues as yourselves, but who have the same hopes and dreams and goals. From a therapist looking on, I think there was a certain degree of freedom in that they were there as teenagers without mum and dad or your main carer with you, because normally when they would come to sessions, they would come and mum and dad would bring them. And here they were coming because they wanted to come together for the group. And there was, I guess, a degree of freedom in that they could just be young people together rather than me coming for my therapy session on a one-to-one basis with a therapist. So while they did get the individual time with therapists to work on specific goals, they also had that time where they could just be young people together. But I think the really lovely thing is the feedback we've had not only from the young people themselves and the carers too, about the changes they've in their own feelings about themselves.
And I think that the real opportunity is to begin to reclaim people from the edge back into the centre of our communities, and to say that we cannot do without their gifts, that we can create a Scotland where everybody's giftedness can find expression.
As I say, that you can manage your condition much better actually when everything else is going better in your life. That doctors just treat, as I say, the medical, but healthy and happy is about, you're a whole person. You've got everything is all interlinked and connected, so you can't just fix something that'll fix that arm, but what's inside, everybody's life is, you've got social, community, family, finances. There's a full big pool of things together, and that's the difference with healthy and happy, that the service users, their feedback is always really positive, that you want us to do more. Healthy and happy, they've got something for everybody in the community. The amount of different programmes that we do for the parent cafe with newborn babies, there's so many different types of things that you should just find out what's on and go and do something. Life is to be enjoyed, whatever health problems that you've got, so you need to go out there and find out what's on in your community.